Hi, this is Gavin from FE News. I'm at the Society for Education and Training annual conference. The 2019 SET conference is focusing around promoting professionalism in the sector, particularly for practitioners. I'm going to be chatting to some of the main speakers from the main stage, some of the people in the breakout sessions, and some interesting people in the audience. So join me as we explore promoting professionalism in the sector. This is Gavin from FE News. I'm here with Teresa Carroll, who heads up Wellbeing with Education and Training Foundation. Today has been the launch of the findings from the SET members' mental health and wellbeing report. And we're here at the Society of Education and Training, the SET 2019 conference. And Teresa, can you explain the findings from the report?
Right. Well, today we've been releasing the headlines from the report and the research into the mental health of our SET members. The reason that we wanted to conduct this research is that there isn't really very much evidence about, the state of the FE sector in terms of the staff's experience regarding mental health. So we conducted a survey with our SET members. We got over 1,000 responses to that, which was very positive. We had, and then we followed that up with 6 focus groups, which got into the detail about what was happening there. One of the things that we wanted to try and identify whether there were times in an FE professional's career when they might be more at risk to poorer well-being. What we found was really interesting. The 3 sort of headlines that came out of the research was it's very important who your line manager is, that you have a strong and supportive line manager, and that has real bearing on whether you have a good or poor experience at work and impacts on your well-being. The second thing is autonomy and trust is so important, and people feel free to get on with their jobs and they're trusted to do so. And then the last thing is how important leadership is, that organisations are led from the top, where it's important that people feel comfortable in discussing their mental health and are free to talk about whether they're under stress and can receive support around that. In terms of the pinch points on within a career, it's interesting, through the survey it indicated that those that were newly qualified and those reaching retirement were the most positive, which I think isn't really that surprising. When we dug into the findings through the focus groups, there was something that came out that between years 1 and 2 of newly qualified teachers, that was a risk time, that actually people were more likely to experience stress and be at risk of leaving the profession. So there is something there that we need to actually think about. The other thing that came out for me, and this is because I part of my work is on special educational needs and disability, and I'm a real advocate for our profession to have people with real lived experience, so learners see people like them in their roles. And something that came out of the research was staff with disabilities seem to be the most negative in terms of their experience. So we will be following that up and seeing what's going on there, because it's all very well me saying that it's important for learners to see staff like them and to encourage more disabled staff into the sector. But if there is something happening there, we need to actually find out what that is.
So that's really interesting. So obviously there's going to be a follow-up on the report, and there's going to be some outcomes to be had, but it's obviously released today, so we've got a process to get there. Looking at today, and from the research that you've undertaken, what practical advice can you give to practitioners, to teachers, lecturers, trainers, assessors, to be able to help with their mental health and well-being of themselves, their learners and their teams? Is there any practical advice you could share?
I would say use what's out there already. That's something that we were very keen on, to make sure that we maximise what's available already, and that's why we've partnered up with the Education Support Partnership and with Mind, the specialist charity, the Education Support Partnership offer a free helpline for stressed out educators. So we encourage people all the time to make use of that support, and they have access to counsellors. They also have a whole range of support offers that they can offer to our sector as well, so to tap into that. The other thing to say is with Mind conducted an audit of the best of the resources in the mental health sector, and have created the Mental Health at Work portal, which houses the best of the resources. We've done a bit of a curation of the best of the resources for our particular sector, and they sit on mental health at work. We would say, if you are working with colleagues, if you are managing colleagues, go and have a look at that, because there are lots of good resources that you can tap into. And everything that I've spoken about there is available on our corporate website. If you tap in the search engine mental health, you'll be signposted to those resources. Okay, and with my special educational needs hat on, we recently commissioned 3 Centres for Excellence in SEND, and they are delivered by Western College, which has the theme of people. We've got Derby College, which has the theme of curriculum, and we have Norwich College, which delivers on the theme of community. Western College, on their theme of people, that is all about making sure that everybody is responsible for special educational needs, and very much about creating an inclusive organisation. They are offering all sorts of support around supporting learners with with mental health issues. So I would encourage people to tap into that.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Why not click subscribe so you can be informed when the latest next individual podcasts or podcast mini-series from FE News are going to be released.